So, Laura,
Rhod.
your first trek.
Yes, it is my first track.
We've just skipped away from lunch to the chat. How are you getting on?
I'm loving it. I'm
Yeah.
loving it. Yesterday felt a bit tough, but today has been, quite uplifting. The scenery, it was, amazing today.
Tough yesterday. What? Tough physically,
Tough
emotionally,
physically,
both?
the shock of the heat, I think. It's hard to train for that in the valleys.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 30 odd degrees, I think, yesterday. We walked for, it's supposed to be 4 or 5 hours. We turned it into an 8-hour.
Yeah, we
marathon.
like to drag it out.
Yeah. And that was, so it's just physically. How are you feeling emotionally?
Better at the moment than I thought I would be. Tomorrow, I think, will be the day that might tip me over the edge a bit.
Why? Well, I think I know, but why tomorrow?
Because it's Father's Day tomorrow, and I'm doing this in memory of my dad, who I lost September 2024.
So what was his name?
Russell.
Russell.
Or Sprouto, as his friend
Sprouto.
calls him.
Why Sprouto?
Russell Sprout.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
But he's the only Russell.
I should have got that.
He's the only Russell I've ever known that's had that nickname.
I've never heard a Russell that's been called Russell Sprout.
Yeah, Sprouto.
I like it. Don't get me wrong. Any Russell I meet in the future will be immediately Sprouto. But how old was Sprouto?
He was 64.
Young.
Yes,
Too young.
I actually wrote a poem after he passed called "No Age at All" because that's what everybody says when you say how old they were. No age at all.
No, that's harsh.
Yeah.
What sort of cancer was it?
He had bowel cancer. He had surgery and it was all fine. And then he went for a routine scan and they picked something up in the liver. We were told it was operable, it was all resectable, and we were quite optimistic. But he had a different procedure done first, and because of that, he had ongoing sepsis. So he wasn't well enough for the chemo. Cancer spread, and he was told he was terminal in the May, and he passed away in the September.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was tough.
You had 4 months.
It was tough. It was just a roller coaster.
What was it? What was that like?
It was horrible. It was horrible. But the day he was told that it was terminal, he was crying, I was crying, my mum was crying, and he looked at me and he said, "Come on, you're supposed to be making me laugh." And so that then was my goal.
That's a lot of pressure.
That was my goal, and I would just be, there's photos of us being silly in the hospital, and he'd be cracking up, and I think humor was such a big part of trying to cheer him up and lift spirits.
Yeah, it's funny the humor thing, isn't it? About trying to laugh at things and laugh with it. It's a tricky one. We use humor in all sorts of ways, don't we, to get us through things that are difficult.
Yeah, even I give his eulogy at the funeral, and I was telling funny stories and cracking jokes then. So it was nice having people laughing and remembering him, but how he was. And somebody actually said it was nice to be at a funeral that felt like a celebration rather than a sad occasion.
Yeah. And when you say hospital, was that Velindre or was that?
He was in and out of different ones, but what we saw at Velindre was just another level. The staff coming into his room, greeting him by name, explaining what they were doing, what the plans were, just the level of care. He had an outpatient appointment at Velindre, and as soon as they saw him, they had him in a bed, they had him on a drip, antibiotics, they sent him for an x-ray, and within 24 hours, the change in him was... He'd gone from death's door and us thinking, oh my God, this could be it. To the next day, we walked into his room and he was sat up eating a nice lolly in bed. We were like, what?
Yeah.
You had us worried sick yesterday.
Yeah.
So, and it was just, while he was still with us, I signed up for the Cardiff half. And
half marathon.
We decided. I said, "Oh, should we do it should I raise money for Velindre?"
Yeah.
And then whenever I'd visit him in hospital, he'd always be like, "Oh, what are we up to now?" Like, what's this? You're not running.
Yeah.
But so I've just kept it going. We've had memorial darts tournaments. I've done other runs, castle to castle. The first castle to castle I did was 2 days after he passed away. So that was tough.
was a
That
tough
was
one,
emotional,
yeah.
but I was determined
How
to
do you
get
feel
through
like?
it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. How do you feel? Does it help you doing the fundraising for Velindre? You know, how does that
Yeah. So for me, I've
help you?
said it's having something good come from something bad.
Yeah,
So we've lost Dad, but because of him, we've raised nearly £14,000.
brilliant. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of different ways. There's it goes into research
Yeah.
stuff, which is amazing because then that sort of doesn't just benefit Velindre. Obviously, the stuff that happens in Velindre, people then get trained there and they spread out far and wide. So it's got a wide. The ripples are pretty wide. Some of the fundraising we do goes towards paying some of the salaries of those specialist nurses you got. Mine was Becky, who I'm still in touch with 4 years later, but she was kind of there for me as it felt like your own sort of somebody holding your hand all the
Yeah.
way through, really, your own personal sort of person. I mean, she had lots of other people she was looking after, but it felt so. I don't know. I think for me, I don't have any experience of other places for cancer, so all I can go on is what I've seen at Velindre. But it sort of feels like a sort of. I use the word cancer family. Does that not? Does that? Do you
Yeah,
get?
no, I
Do you know what I mean?
understand. But yeah, I understand that.
I think some of the things that make it different are a direct result of this kind of fundraising. The 14 grand that you've raised goes towards some of the little things. Like I don't know what your dad experienced, but like when I was having chemo, there was somebody rubbing my feet, doing reflexology, sort of calming me down. And
Yeah, I know he was offered
that,
that. Yeah,
do
he
you
said,
have that
yeah.
that kind of complementary therapy stuff, the little extras that are above and beyond those things come out of that 14 grand that you're raising. So this kind of fundraising is so important, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Sprouto, if you're up there watching, happy Father's Day for tomorrow.
Thank you.